Hey everybody, welcome to another beautiful evening, night, whatever you want to call it, in the city. This is XTY. I'm T Ann.
And Tia Yoka.
And as y'all can see, we have a special guest. We have freedom fighter Tawanda Jones is going to be with us on this beautiful evening. Say hi, Tawanda. I don't know if you can hear them.
Hi, everybody.
Cool, cool, cool. So we're going to get into Tawanda shortly. Remember that you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, and Periscope at XTY. We record usually like every other Monday around 9, so make sure that you check us out. You also can send in advice, situations, anything that you need help with. You can text us at 410-999-8937. And you can
Uh-oh.
answer that for you live, girl. I had to remember that number.
You remember?
Number, usually I'm getting it, but I remembered it this time. Also, don't forget about the crab feast.
Oh, man.
About that, like, if you want to remind them about any changes or just be
So,
what's going on.
so this is the thing, right, y'all? Because I don't know exactly what's going to take place, and I know everybody want to stay safe, and I want everybody to be safe. But we're in the process of probably turning the crab feast into a cookout. So it's going to be the XTY cookout. I'm trying to get an outside venue for the time being, but we will keep you posted. So hopefully by July 1, we'll have more information for you. If I can't get the outside venue, because normally we have so many people that come out to the event, and we're truly grateful for that. But if we can't get the outside venue because of the amount of people, and it has to be an open to the public event for the place that I do want to hold it at, we will have to reschedule for next year, unfortunately.
Okay. COVID,
I
COVID,
know,
COVID.
but July 1, hopefully I'll know something. I'll be calling Rexon Park back at the end of June. She told me to touch bases back then to find out if I'll be able to get an entertainment license and everything in time by August 29th. So,
Okay.
I mean, outside would be the best bet because we can social distance well. It'd be nice and warm, and we won't all be inside. The space that is actually going to be held at actually holds about 300 people, so it still is possible, but we need to have a certain amount of people there in order for this to make sense and for the event to make the money to cover the expenses. So yeah, but we will definitely keep you posted. Like I said, hopefully next year we can start fresh and have some good events coming out for y'all. We can get back rolling in our thing, because I know we had to
Oh
stop,
no.
cut a few things short. But I also, aside from the event, we do run ad space. So we have $10 ad space that's available. It runs across our ticker, and we will give your business a shout out. If you are a small business owner, entrepreneur, artist, creative, it doesn't matter. We got $10 advertisement available, and we do have some other promotional packages available as well. Inbox us at xtygmail.com or hit us up on Instagram or Facebook. And to inquire. I'm sorry that the front door part was like, yeah, but just hit us up and to get into that for the promo and the ad space. That helps us to pay for the streaming of this show and some other things that we need to keep XT going.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Make sure that you support.
Yes.
So we're gonna get into today's show. We just thought that it was just, we usually start off with like an XTY question or something like that, and then we kind of get into the show. A lot of times we talk about men versus women, men ain't shit, women ain't shit, just the whole thing. But with what's going on, we had a lot of guests that we could have done, but we actually came in contact with this young lady. When did we meet Tawanda? I don't think we actually met her, but we met her last year, right?
Right. Yeah, we met her at Genesis and Ramsey's event,
Black Girl
Girl Magic. Yep, we did actually get to meet. I think we did actually talk to her, if I'm not mistaken.
For like a brief moment.
Yeah.
But with all that's happening in the news with police and the racism and everything else that's happening, we just thought that we would have a guest that would have a little bit more of an insight on what's happening. So everybody
Help
said,
us to get a better
hello to
understanding of what's going
Tawanda.
on too as well.
Yes, yes, yes. So everybody say hello to Wanda. Hello to Wanda.
Hey.
I make like we got a real audience and all that. Anyway, but can you can you sort of break down who you are for?
Yes. Okay. So yes, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, great. All right. So first of all, I want to thank you so much for having me tonight. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all queens are doing your thing, and I appreciate
Mhm.
it. So but first of all, I am the sister of Tyrone West. My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered right here in Baltimore City before the uprising on July the 18th, 2013. So for now, for 359 weeks nonstop, we've been protesting. We started something called West Wednesday, where regardless of it's snowing outside, whatever the weather is, we're out there. It doesn't matter. Since the pandemic, however, we decided to take West Wednesday inside for a few months and just kind of be online type of thing. But everybody know we always in the street. Wherever it calls,
Mhm.
we're there. We're going around the world. This is said, I wouldn't wish anyone into this family of police brutality. It's horrible. And to actually go around the world and visit different, family members that have lost their loved ones, it's horrific. And I won't wish this kind of pain on anyone. And so not only do I fight for accountability for my big brother Tyrone West, but at the end of the day, it didn't start with him, and however, it doesn't end with him. So I fight for all the victims of police brutality and no murder because it's real
Can,
important to me.
can you, if you mind, tell us about your brother's situation? Because I don't think that a lot of people, they either don't know about it, they may not remember. So can you
Right.
sort of just help us remember what happened
Yeah.
with your brother?
Okay, so basically on July the 18th, 2013, it started off as a normal day. I basically decided I had just bought a Mercedes Benz. It wasn't even like 2 months old. So what I thought would keep my brother safe because a lot of community violence was going on, and I didn't want my brother, catching a bus to work. So I'm like, I want to make sure my brother's straight. So he
Mhm.
was so happy that I let him hold my Mercedes Benz. He's like, sis, you let me hold your car for real? I'm like, yeah, anything for you. So long story short, his job worked perfect because even though I'm a teacher, I still teach in the summertime for fun camp type of thing. So he was taking me to work or whatever, for fun camp and whatnot. So long story short, our morning started off beautiful. He called me to wake me up, and he had a part-time job. Like his job hours was literally from 9 to 2. My job hours is from 8 to 5:30. So he would come pick me up. He would keep the car, go to work, come pick me up after work, and we'd be cool. So this specific day, he came pick me up. I'll never forget. I had a police officer in the camp, basically a good officer. He was talking to the kids, and so by the time I walked over and got in my car on the passenger side, I was real excited. I had this little dad bear, and it was my co-teacher husband, and so I was so excited. I was telling him, he was like, "Hey, sis, you look happy," and I'm like, "Yeah, we had a good officer in my class type of thing." And from that conversation, it struck us to talking about Trayvon Martin. Basically, Trayvon Martin was just murdered, and then the trial had went on that Saturday. Everybody around the world got the news that George Zimmerman would not be charged. And I'll never
Mhm.
forget, me and my brother was messed up behind that verdict. So long story short, he said, sis, so how you feeling about the verdict of George Zimmerman? And I'm like, I still am heartbroken. He was like, yeah, but I'm glad, you had a good officer in your classroom. He said, but you know what? We got to worry about all the George Zimmermans that are in our community. So I'm like, that's deep. So we proceeded on to go, he picked me up for work. So now we're going to go get something to eat because normally I would cook dinner, but it was hot that day. I'm like, I'm not cooking. He like, all right, I'll treat us to something to eat. We go get something to eat. And as we're ordering our food, a young lady that he barely knew called him and was like, could you come pick me up? He only maybe knew her for a few weeks or whatever. And she was like, I'm kind of stranded. You know, do you got your sister car? And he's like, yeah, I got it. Let me ask her. So at that moment, he said, sister, you mind if I borrow your vehicle to go get this young lady? I was like, I don't care. As long as you throw your niece somewhere in the mix, you can get the car. So he was like, all right, cool. Because he would always, some nights when I ain't feel like going to go get my daughter from work, he would go get her. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's all you. So we laughed, joked about that. And then me not knowing that this was the last time I was going to ever see my brother, literally, I could just remember, it felt like his eyes were just glowing, like it was so bright and his smile was so bright. And I just remember as he was getting ready to pull up, I'm like, why you still, parked right there? He was like, I'm waiting for you to go in the house, sis. You know I'm not going to pull off until you're safely in the house. So long story short, he leaves. Within a half an hour, my brother Tyrone West is brutally murdered. Literally, and I'm not lying. Literally, at exactly 7 o'clock, I'm in my house. I just got finished eating my dinner. I feel all this type of pain on my left side of my neck. I'm like, what in the world is going on type of thing. Long story short, I knew something bad happened to my brother. It was the godly feeling, like it was a premonition. You know how we got ladies premonition, like your man doing something wrong. You like, oh, hold up. You get that sick feeling type of thing. Well, it was about my big brother. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? So when I called his phone, he wouldn't answer. I'm literally calling my family. They thinking I'm crazy. I felt like my whole world was ending. I knew something bad happened. But my mind, I'm thinking he got into a car accident. That's the worst thing I'm thinking. God forbid he got into a car accident. So I'm calling around. I call my family members. They're calling hospitals or whatever. I literally called my daughter at work, not knowing what happened to my brother. And I'm like, your uncle will not be picking you up. She like, why? I said something bad happened to him. She said, oh my God, what happened? I'm calling my daughter at McDonald's, not knowing what happened to her uncle, telling her bad news that I don't even know of, just off of gut instinct. So she's like, oh my God. I said, well, you will catch a cab. I got you. I hang up on her. Literally, I'll never forget. It was 10 o'clock. I remember my fiance, coming in the house or whatever. After he searched for me, couldn't find him type of thing. Because I sent him to go look. He literally ran to my brother's house on feet. He didn't even get in the car. He literally took off running. That's how historical I was. And I was just like, it was a big deal to me. So it was a big deal to him. And when he got down there, he realized my car wasn't in front of my brother door. He came back and instantly, once he got back in, now the time is like 10 o'clock at night. I'm on the phone with my auntie, who I call my mom, Miss Aunt Diane. And I'm like, hey, did you hear anything yet? She like, no, we called the hospital. She said, we even called down the police district just to see maybe, if anything happened. Nobody has them. She said, let's just say a prayer. Before we could actually pray, I'll never forget my fiance saying, you was right, Tawanda. I said, right about what? He said, they killed your brother. And I'm like, what now? I'm like, don't joke with me like that. He was like, why would I? And he turned my TV around to me, and I see my green Mercedes Benz in the middle of the street. I see my brother dead on the gurney, lifeless, like dead. I see sobbing witnesses crying, saying my brother was yelling, Trayvon Martin, help me, as he ran down the street. So that really broke me. And at that moment, I literally died. The old me died with my brother. And then for me to learn, and the horrible part is, the way he was beat, like he was pepper sprayed, tased, kicked, stomped, maced, beat to death, right? And then he had a 315-pound man. So when you see George Floyd screaming for his mama, his dead mama, my brother had a 320-pound man with his knee in his neck and his knee in his back. He was in a hog tie position after being beat over 20 minutes, face down. And the saddest part, sis, it's a lot of videos out there that my family, I'm praying that we get, because it'll crack the case. Because we know what, even though I would never want to see my brother being murdered. But however, if the world sees, then they'll be forced to do something. But they hit all the videos. So I said all I could say, but the whole crime itself of my brother being murdered, the part that was the worst was the big cover up. The fact that you allowed two cops that basically started all this, Ruiz and David Chapman. They started all of this, right? And these are repeat violent offenders. They were in an unmarked car. Literally, were in an unmarked car. They said, the story was, they said my brother was driving too slow towards a stop sign. How in the hell do you drive too slow towards a stop sign? So literally, they pulled him out by his dreadlocks, called him the N-word, and started beating the life out of him. At this moment, he's like, fight or flight. I'm not going to stay here and let y'all kill me. So he's running down the street screaming for help, the witnesses say, screaming, help, call 911, help. And then literally 25 cars pull up, and instead of those officers getting out helping him, they participate in the beating. Everybody's beating him with batons from one end of the street to the next side of the street. It was horrible. And then after, as he's dying, face down on the ground, David Lewis from Morgan, another repeat violent offender, comes, crash his car into the unmarked car to come sat on my brother's back as he was dying. It is horrible. And for me to learn that before my brother, there was Jamal Abdul Salam. He was with his baby, a resident of that community, on July the 1st. Who was the two that pulled him over his driveway? Chapman and Ruiz and Omar. They pulled him up, almost killed him. Who saved Abdul's life when he was screaming for his mama? An 80-year-old woman came out her house, stopped these killers from killing him. Then I heard the part that really broke my heart. 24 hours, a man named Darrell Harris on lock rape. My brother was killed on Kentmore and Causeway, but to find out Darrell Harris was almost killed 3 blocks away. And who was the first two again? Ruiz and Chapman, repeat violent offenders. And he called, they did everything to save my brother's life. And the list goes on. It was a Joseph Green, a James Green. It was a sister. And the list goes on. It was women that they abused and everything. It's just horrible. But the fact that all this happened within a week frame to my brother getting murdered, it speaks in volumes. It speaks in volumes. It's horrific. It's terrible. And then to know that to this day, real fast, Ruiz now, he is a sergeant. They got a promotion. He is a sergeant now. They got him being a sergeant after killing my brother. And Chapman, instead of him getting, fired or whatever, he got promoted to be a sergeant as well. So both of them are sergeants with promotions. So what they base upon their, when they get all these promotions, it's based upon if you kill a Negro or beat a Negro, you become a hero. That's what it got to be based upon. And when I look at this, and I know that this is a systemic problem happening around the world because I talk to victims daily. You get what I'm saying? And the same thing, all these killer cops have a history of doing this, and they love it, and we hate it, and it's just not right.
Ooh. That was just a lot. That was just a lot. Like that was just a lot. And this happened in 2013, right?
Yes.
So you don't have any type of justice for your brother.
Not at all.
His death was labeled as what? Just
it was justified. It was just they wouldn't even label it. It basically they just ruled. They said that my brother died from a heart attack and dehydration. He went to he had a medical condition, an underlying medical condition that basically because it was so hot that day he died. So that's why I want to call out the medical examiner's office. Until we get these crooks right, this is going to repeatedly happen. They are complicit in these murders. They get these killer cops off by always lying on their report. They did the same thing in Antoine Black case, who was choked out here in Baltimore. Literally last year, Antoine Black was choked out, chokehold. Mother watched him get murdered. And what did the medical examiners rule? He had an underlying heart. And then he basically had excited delivery. Like, are you kidding me? It took them jokers 154 days to give us an autopsy, a partial autopsy report. They're very complicit in these murders.
So no, what were you going to say, T?
So, do you think, because of the times that we're in now and everything that's taking place, especially with George Floyd, do you feel like that they will open up this case again to actually look into it now, since everything is starting to come to the forefront as far as these cops being crooked? And I'm sorry, you was getting ready to say something?
Yes. No, I was just listening to you.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like when you look at it, and we know that it's systematic, and we know that it's racism within the government system, period. Even when you look at the whole police department itself, I guess throughout the states, it seemed like it's the same repeated cycle. And we do understand that the police force and everything, they still have the same, I don't want to say, I guess it would be training, but it seemed like it's the same policies that are in place since slavery. And it's like
Absolutely.
nothing has changed. And then it
Nothing.
really, it saddens me because of the simple fact that we have African Americans that are on the force that find that it is okay to actually feel like they have the power to justify if that person, whether guilty or not, should live or die. And
Right.
I'm really wondering, you know, after all of these years, I've seen that you actually took part in a few laws being passed as well.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yes,
yeah. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
trying to get into because there's the I think I read about the Christopher Brown law.
yeah.
Yes,
So
yes, I
something has
How
been
testified.
that went
coming
first.
out of it.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, so I testified in the Christopher Brown law, and it basically, allows the officers basically to get their CPR and first aid training type of thing, which to me is a bunch of bull crap. It's like they keep on giving us this little bit of foolishness. I'm not satisfied with any of it. I'm to the point now, I don't even believe in reform anymore. It's time for us to transform this thing. Let's knock it down, build it back up again.
Yeah, I
We
like that
even
better.
got, yes, we even got the gag or the transparency law. And what this is, basically, it allows victims. So basically, when somebody's victimized, whether they're murdered or not, what happens is when you go into the law part, like far as the settlement, the monetary settlement, what happens is so basically what happened is the Supreme Justice System ruled that it was unconstitutional that whereas though they would take the people, like they would give the people their money, but then they would say you couldn't talk about it. So you're basically gagging people from telling their truths about these repeat violent offenders, and that's why they were getting away with it. So thank God this year we basically got this bill passed into law. So now it's the Gag and Transparency Law Bill that basically says that even if you get monetary settlement,
you
you
can
can
still talk
actually
about it.
call out. Yeah, you could call out. So that's good. But like I said,
Okay.
that's not good enough. To me, right now, while we're in a historical moment, and the reason why I say historical, because we done seen different uprisings. We done seen the Freddie Gray uprising. We done seen Michael Brown uprising. We done seen even when they turned up for Eric Gardner, right? We done seen all this. But the difference is the pandemic played a better part with this. And the reason why I think the pandemic played a better part with this corona going around the world, being so everything was shut down at the same time. Nobody was at a Beyonce concert. Nobody was out at dinner or on an airplane.
No
So they were
distractions.
forced, no
Everybody was
distractions.
home.
Hmm.
Absolutely, Queen. So they were able to see all these atrocities happen. Like first in the case of, the guy that was jogging, Ahmad.
Oh
He
yeah.
was just jogging. And then it was Breonna Taylor. Somebody that supposed to have been working in the pandemic. Her mom was worrying about if she was going to get coronavirus. And no, she get a no-knock warrant that takes her life in her
Mm.
house. And then George Floyd. And then even after that, with our brother that was just killed. You know
Right.
what I mean? That he pulled
Yeah,
over. He did the
Oh, in the
most right
Wendy's.
thing. Yeah, in the Wendy's. Yeah, he pulled over the
yeah.
the kind of sleep his drink off type of thing. He even could have left his car, and then you shoot this man in the back twice, and then you kick him, and then even, and I don't know if
They
y'all
stay on
heard
the
the latest
shoulder.
news. Yeah, I don't even know if y'all knew the latest news about George Floyd killer. For one, I don't understand. Now we kill somebody. Now quote me if I'm wrong. We kill somebody. Do you honestly think they're gonna give us a bail? Hell no. They're
No.
not gonna give us a bail. I done seen brothers get locked up for weed that sat in central booking 6 to 7 months to a year for a trial with no bail. And that's for having marijuana. So you
Right.
actually murder somebody like that and you get $1 million bail. Like, are you freaking kidding
I
me?
think the
So he
dude was
asked,
in the Walmart shopping when
oh
he
yeah, it did. Oh
got
yeah,
No,
the
he
it
charge.
was
shot.
it
It
was
was
one it was one of the officers that were charged with aiding and abetting.
Oh,
No, it
okay.
was actually no, it was the officer that actually killed him. They caught him in, like you said, they caught him in
Oh,
a store shopping. He was getting cookies and milk,
Yep.
and the lady was like, hell no, how
You
dare
don't
you come
deserve
in?
to be in
She,
here.
yeah, yeah, exact. She called him out. But not only that, I don't know if y'all heard the print. Now what happened? So when he got locked up, of course he got placed on PC protective custody. But the horrible part, what they did was they removed all the black COs off the floor that he was working on, replaced them with all Caucasian cops. And then you actually see a Caucasian female CO hand him her personal cell phone. He making phone calls in the joint now on her cell phone. Like, really? Are you serious?
Wow.
But it's to be expected in America. Absolutely.
it's to be expected. It's to be expected. Um, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm so
Because it's like I be
Yeah,
really trying to see, and I love how the world has come together, and man,
Yes.
people are still protesting to this day, and it's in abundance. So I'm loving that because it's
tired.
like, yeah, it's raising the whole vibration of everything. So that's the major
Yes.
important thing about it. But my whole thing is, all right, are policies actually changing? Is all of this
Are they
protest
trying
actually
to?
changing
Yeah.
things? Now I've seen a few things go through, but
Mhm.
yeah, how official is that going to be? Are we just
No.
talking about
So
it?
yeah, so basically when you got freedom fighters such as myself and lots of queens and kings on the front line, and we ain't talking about the L Sharpness of the world. L
Okay.
Sharpner, he is a house Negro. That's
That's
my
my
views.
favorite
That's
word.
not that's not the views of these queens. I called them out.
Let me
These are
tell you,
my
I
views.
done
He's a
deleted a
house
whole bunch.
Negro.
I done deleted a whole bunch of house
House
Negroes.
Negro, yes. So I said, sis, if something break down, let me get the house Negroes first. I'm getting them out of there. They don't have us set up, all that. So let me
Right.
deal with the house Negroes. So Al Sharpton is the #1 house Negro, him and Crump. They're playing like, so they're calling all this defund the police, no justice, no peace, defund the police. We want more than that. Not only do we want you to take dollars away, it ain't even about the dollars. I always say it's not about the income, it's about the outcome. The outcome, we demand that they open up all the cases because they shouldn't have never closed them. So while we got this historic momentum going on, let's take it all the way to the courthouse. Let's change these lynching laws. Let's be serious about this work. Ain't nobody got time to be playing. We
Right.
demand that they reopen all the cases.
So
And
I
get it
have a
at the
question.
police department and reform some
Right.
stuff. Go
And
ahead.
yeah, knock it down.
So I have a question about defunding the police. You have a lot of people that you have some that are for it. You have some that are against it. Some that feel that if you do it, the crime rate in Baltimore is going to go up. The crime rate around the world is going to go up. Baltimore already has a highest
Already up.
rate, so at this point, it doesn't even matter. But you have some that feel that the money should go inside of the school system because Baltimore City
Yeah.
Public Schools sucks. They don't have money
Absolutely.
for nothing. So I just kind of want to get an idea, like when we actually say defund the police, what are we saying? I
We
know what it means, but
yes.
a lot of people don't.
So let's be clear. When we say defund, first of all, we say defund. It's not taking their salary away. So everybody's thinking that, oh, they're gonna be paid whatever salary that they come in. We talking about all that extra overtime, all these millions of dollars, right? That could be going in our community for the schools that don't have heat or air. You get what I'm saying? For one, we need more counselors in the school. If you talk about like, so if you educate people, I think the crime rate will really stop for on. We can take care of our own community. And it's about education now. So we put more money into the educators and take money from them, you will see a big difference. You will see a big difference. Like at the end of the day, they're not there. Most of these crimes that people are getting killed for, think about it. They're not killing these white terrorists that murder people. They walked into accountability with a bulletproof vest. So when you call and say, oh, my child is having a mental health crisis, I just want them to be, took to the hospital. They will come gun your child down. Let's be clear, or beat them to death. Let's be clear. These are low-level crimes. You talk about George Floyd when they're talking about a fake $20 bill that this man might have didn't even know that he had.
Exactly.
How many times we exchange dollars and you ain't looking at it, you just get your money. You
Just
tired.
taking it.
Let's be clear. This was a hard-working man, George Floyd. He worked at a nightclub. And let's be clear. See, we let the media dictate our outcome and future everything. Tell us, yes, they set the stage. Let's be clear. This wasn't about no fake 20. This was a revenge death because at the end of the day, I don't know if you sisters know, but that killer cop worked outside of the nightclub and him and George Floyd had run-ins on several times because he did not like how he treated the customers, the brown customers like us, and the black customers, he didn't like how they were treated where he was racist, he was stereotyping them. So they didn't like that. He didn't like that, and they came into it. They clashed, and so you can tell like who sat on somebody's neck for that long, and then to have all of them. So it wasn't just him on his neck. The other officers, if you see the second video, you got 3 other bodies laying on top of the man's body. No wonder he couldn't move. No wonder he couldn't breathe. I mean, he was like, I never saw like every time I see a murder, it gets worse, and they want us to be like sensitive. Sensitized to this foolishness, like it's okay to see somebody get murdered on camera. It's not okay. So if y'all saying me, if I see any of my brothers or sisters, let me ride down the street and see somebody with their foot on somebody's neck, I'm jumping in, I'm swinging, I'm off the top. They're gonna kill me and them at the same time. Don't drop the camera. Let somebody else say, help me. Don't.
It pisses me off so bad to sit up there and hear people like, oh, they deserve to die because they did because they were bad. But it's not the police job to actually. Right, it's not their job to do that. Like they're supposed to go before a court of law, even though we know if they go before the court of law, they still might not be judged fairly. But the thing is like, how do you feel like you have that much power and control? And how, as a human, if you don't have, you lack all types of humanity to sit up there and be okay with somebody dying, being murdered, and then it's on video.
Right, and that's one of the biggest the problems that I have with the whole thing is when you hear other police officers. Now they are very vocal. It's because I got Facebook friends that are officers,
police officers.
They're very vocal when something happens to one of their fellow brothers and sisters, as they should be. All of that is love. But then when you have a case like this, like your brother or George Floyd, or just any type of case, they are either quiet, they don't have anything to say, or they have this 15-paragraph argument about why that officer was not wrong. And the problem
or because of or that training too. It was that bill or whatever that thing.
Or because of policy.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing is that could have been any one of our children. That
Absolutely.
It could have been me.
That could have been your
you.
That actually could have been me. So you mean to tell me, even with the Rayshard Brooks situation, you tell me that you felt that threatened? I get it. I understand what the reason is. That man's back was turned. He was running. The taser there was a big enough of a distance where even when he shot it, he wasn't going to get that man. You didn't have to get that man, and I just think that at some point
then stand on his neck and kick
accountable. Right, they don't hold one another accountable. I'm not gonna lie. If something happens, I would be one of the first people to pick up my phone and say, I gotta call the police because I need help.
Yeah, that's what this officer was saying. It was like, if you feel threatened,
that's what I need them.
Call the police.
But I am afraid of that.
Ask for a sergeant or lieutenant or something. I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to feel that way. Like, that's not what their purpose is. Like, they are here to serve and protect. And I don't know if it got lost in the badge, the gun, the power, or a point.
But you gotta realize, sis, at the end of the day, a cook job is to do what? Cook food. A server job is to do what? Serve food. A painter's job is to do what? Paint food. Remember the culture of policing. They were slave catchers.
Slave patrol.
They were slave, yes, absolutely. So they're gonna do that. Name one job. Think about this, and I want y'all to let this sink in. Let's take firefighters, right? And somebody's house is burning down to the ground. The whole family get, God forbid, burnt up in smoke. And their sergeant come out, and say, oh my God, and they see 5 firefighters sitting down on the curb, and they go, oh my God, why y'all letting that house burn down? And could they say, oh, you know what, I feared for my life, that's why we didn't go in there? They got a dangerous job too. You got floors collapsing, everything. They don't know if they're going to walk in them flames and come back out alive. Let's be clear. Yep. But can they use that same I fear for my life foolishness and get away with it? Nope. They cannot. They cannot. And that's the only job that can do that. The only job.
And I think it's very disheartening. And out of all of this, it's like, what is going to be the next solution? Because we're sitting here in 2020 and we still fighting for our lives. And it's very sad. And I mean, I can't even express like the feelings that I feel. So I try to like step back sometimes because I know I can go real radical and belligerent with it. And then sometimes I can be all love and light with it. And it frustrates me, especially when people can tend to really feel like it's okay to kill, you know, somebody in regards to anything, period. Like just to not value someone's life, period. It pisses me off. And then when you even look into the police department, a lot of times when they're coming in out of high school, they're young, you understand, or it's no stipulation. So to me, it just feels like policies need to be changed within the police department. We need to get into the government level because it's just not in the police department that we're experiencing these problems. It goes higher than the police department. And that's where I'm like, do we all realize now that we're all waking up and we've had a chance to actually see what's going on in the world because of the pandemic, now do we really realize what it is that we need to do? Like, we can't just keep fighting these lower level demons. You understand? Like, because that's not it. That's not it. Absolutely. So that's why I'm like, what do we hope to accomplish at the end of the day? And I know it is for us to have a change. Exactly. And even with everything that you're doing, what is your actual goal? I know it is to help everybody who are victims of police brutality, but do you have what else do you want to do with it?
My goals is, and that's the biggest thing, past protests, because protest without purpose is nothing. Just like prayer without work is nothing. I can sit there and pray all my bills away all day. If I don't pay, I'm going to be in the dark. That's the reality. I got to get up, go to work type of thing. So I set up, exactly. So putting action to these protests, if we do not change these lynching laws, because we saw a lynching. Every time these brothers and sisters are killed, you are watching a modern day lynching. Executed in broad daylight. It's a modern day lynching. It's called legalized genocide. Let's be crystal clear. And the way we think, the way we speak, all of that. It's legalized genocide. And until we change these laws, so basically when they said we was free, and that's why I love Juneteenth and I was turned up, all that. But to me, we're never going to be free until we actually change these lynching laws. So they traded slavery. They trade slavery for these lynching laws. They knew exactly what they was doing. If you look at, and I want y'all to go back and do your own research. They had something, and I think it was in like 1865, but it was called the Casual Killing Act. If you look up to Google it right now, the Casual Killing Act, and it allowed the slave masters to kill us when we resisted. Well, and it sounds just like what we're going through now. These officers are killing you when you quote unquote resist.
And it was all about keeping their political statuses, their status quo with their money and everything. And it's the same exact way.
So with everything that's going on, right? There is a lot of distrust between the people and the police, distrust between the people and the legal system in general. You know, and when I say the people, I am talking about like the people of color. Like, we don't trust the system. And when I say we, I am not saying like me and everybody included. I'm saying there is a large amount of people of color that literally do not trust the legal system, right? And because of that, you know, you have a lot of protesting and a lot of sit-ins and a lot of marches and all of that. What do you say to someone that is saying that is causing a lot of hate, a lot of frustration, and just all of that? What do you say to a person basically telling you as a person that what you are doing is wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
I would tell them to wake up, wake up, because apparently they're sleeping. Like really, wake up, because we don't act. We never ask for this hate. As a Black African American queen, we're the most loving people ever. We're the first one to I forgive somebody. We believe we forgive killers. We forget. I forgive this one. I forgive that one. You know what I'm saying? We quick to forgive. We are the ones who do everything. You get what I'm saying? But we are always mistreated because they don't look at us as humans. So I would tell them to go and check their self. Go check, do a self check, because even if they're Black, that's self hate. That's self hate coming out of them. If they don't know what's going on with what's happening for over 400 plus years, right? They need to check themselves and see what's going on. They need to wake up in reality, because it's sad that we have to worry about the cops and the robbers. And at the end of the day, the cops are the robbers. You know what I mean? We talk about the leaders, the real leaders, when they talk about, oh, they turn up the community. Let's look at the real leaders. The real leaders are the people sitting in city damn hall. Let's be clear. Them politicians, they the real leaders. They want to talk about the Black guerrilla family. Let's talk about the white guerrilla family. All these white collar crimes. And they getting away with it. Everything that the man did, they've been doing for years. She wouldn't have felt comfortable coming in a position with Healthy Holly at her age. This is something that, okay, it's cool, but you gotta recognize the complexion.
Right.
You ain't got that complexion, you're gonna get the rejection. Right. You're gonna get the rejection. That's the thing. You ain't them, sis. You ain't them, sis. I'm trying. It's not funny, but at the end of the day, that's how they do us. We do the same stuff they do. They do worse. They do worse stuff. Like I could pull up statistics where I don't see white women do way worse stuff than that.
Did you say young enough to come up with Healthy Holly?
Yeah.
That is my last for the day. You can go ahead. That's my last.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm being real. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. So like I said, when they want to talk about and try to throw us under the bus, let's throw shade. I can throw shade all day. Like let's throw shade. Let's talk about the right to really talk.
Talk about where you're real talk. Holly, you're too old for this. I gotta tell my mother that. I'm sorry. That's her own thing. Yes, but you're absolutely right, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I believe in some of these politicians. I honestly do. I mean, that's just me. But I also believe that if you are in this place of power, whether it's a little bit of power, whether it's a lot of power, you know, you have the power to influence a lot of people. You should use that power as good versus bad. You know what I mean? And I just think that a lot of us put a lot of faith in the legal system because
in this government, period.
Right. Because at the end of the day, I am a regular person. You know, I am not a politician. I'm not an officer. I'm not the president. I am a person that works a regular job, and I just want to be saved. I just want to be okay, you know, and I think we put a lot of faith in it. And then when we don't get that same courtesy back, it basically like fuck our mind up, you know.
It's done. It's done for me. It's done for me.
You know, and you know when I realized it was actually a while ago. I had gotten pulled over, and I got pulled over like I didn't do anything wrong. You know, I really pulled over because my turning signal light was out. I knew that it was out. I was going to get it fixed. I don't know if I was going to get it fixed. I'm not even going to say it to you live. Right. And I didn't feel like dealing with it. So I don't care. But I got pulled over, and I remember calling my mother like, listen, I really need you. And she was like, why? And I said, because I just got pulled over. And she was like, why? I said it's probably because of my turning light. Like, well, that's fine. I was like, No, sis. No, sis. I just need you with me. Like, I need you on the phone with me. And when we hung up, and I got like a warning thing. I got like the little um thing they actually give you for it. And I remember pulling off like, because that could have went bad.
Yes.
Very, very fast. I
Right.
have a valid license. My stickers are good. My car is fine. But that could have went bad. And that's when I realized, like, yo, I am really scared of the police. Like I am afraid
Mm-hmm.
of them, and I shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You shouldn't.
So I absolutely get it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the pandemic alone itself kind of like threw me off,
You
and
got
I
it, got
started to
it.
learn a lot about the government and really
Oh yeah.
seeing the underlying truth about how they really don't give about us, no matter if we
Right.
black, if we white.
Right.
It's all about the money and the power at the end of the day. And yeah, we don't stand a chance. And I sit here and I pray and I ask God often, like, I don't even know what to ask for at this point, because we've been
Mm-hmm.
praying these prayers for over
Yes.
400 years, and all I know is
Right.
I'm just saying, like, can you help us out? Just vindicate for us something to help us get through this, because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And I have a son
Right.
that's about to be 20 in about less than 2 weeks. So, and
Mm-hmm.
to literally to be scared for your life and not feel safe,
Mm-hmm.
period, because you like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, we got police killing us on top of
Right.
y'all unleashing viruses on us trying to kill us. You
Right.
understand?
All
So
type
it's
of
like,
stuff.
what
All
the
type of
hell? Like,
stuff.
we don't stand a
That's
chance
a
right
whole
now.
nother
Like,
show.
what's
See,
next? Like,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
unleash
y'all
the
putting out
virus
murder
for
We
a whole
got.
reports, y'all.
stuff.
What?
Yeah,
What?
we lived a thousand. Y'all ever see that show called A Thousand Ways to Die? I used to watch that. I used to have me cracking up like people be dying of crazy stuff. It's not funny, but these will be real cases. But I
Yeah,
feel like that's us every day. A thousand ways
Right.
to die. Like, God
I'm out
damn,
of
you
here.
can't do
People just
nothing.
I'm
dropping left and
Nothing.
right,
I'm
left
Nothing.
and
just
right.
trying to make it off of this earth naturally.
Right.
That's
Either
all I pray.
either because I either drank entirely too much and I just had enough. I had too many cigarettes back in the day. I'm a fat ass or some other stuff, but I don't want to be worried about that. It's bad
Tragic.
enough, right? It's bad enough that I have to walk out of here like, am I going to be a victim? Is somebody going to try to steal my car? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get caught up in the drive-by. It's
Mm-hmm.
Or is a bomb about to drop out of the sky?
yeah, I
Right.
don't got to worry about
Anything.
that, right?
Right.
Right.
But then I don't want to have to worry about I'm about to get pulled over. Let me pull out the video because
Yeah.
you never know. I don't want to have to worry about the racism. I don't
Yeah.
want to have to worry about any of that. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. And it
But in the reality that we live
yes.
in today, yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything that you want to share with us, or you have any upcoming projects? I did see
Yes.
you mentioned some books. Were you in those books, or
Oh
are they
yeah.
books that you have written
No,
before we
I.
let you go? Because I know we're going over
Oh.
our time.
Oh no, so basically the author Westmore, he is actually he wrote a book called The Five Fairy Days, and it's about the Baltimore uprising and what happened with Freddie Gray, and he featured my brother and myself in this book, so it's real powerful. So that, and then also right now I'm working with Councilman Ryan Dorsey, because we're trying to, because as America's trying to hide their dirt. It almost reminds me of a pedophile that got all these porn books and all this stuff about kids, and then soon as CPS come, they want to start hiding stuff. That's what
Mm-hmm.
America doing now by taking the pancake box down, taking every dang thing
Heck
down.
yeah.
So with the mud. So right now we trying to get this police brutality thing up for everybody. So, and that's what we're working towards now.
That's what's up.
So yeah.
So if somebody wants to contact you, if they want to follow you, how are they able to do that?
You can follow me on Facebook, Tawanda Jones, or Justice for Tyrone West, and then they can also follow me at on my email, Tawanda Tawanda 17 at yahoo.com.
Okay.
I got it going across the ticker too, because I know you kind of went faint on us. Yeah, so it's going across the ticker. Everybody, follow Tawanda Jones on Instagram, as you can see.
Well, thank y'all, ladies, so much.
Hold on,
Well, could y'all hold on for 1 second because my food just arrived at my door. That was the guy calling me. Give me 2 seconds. I know I'm being ghetto right now, but everybody know me. I love to eat. My food is at the door. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
1 second.
All right. Never had this happen before. Never had nobody put us on hold to get some food.
J Prime did it to go check his turkey wings.
J Prime irritates my soul. I say, listen, I don't want anybody to think we are anti-police. We are not anti-police. We are anti-injustice. We just want to be treated the same way as everybody else. Like, I work a 9 to 5 job. I pay my bills. You know, I do everything. I didn't ask to be brought into this world. And it's not your responsibility to be less than what I deserve because of my skin color, because where I live, because my name is not a common name. It's not your responsibility to worry about me. Let me worry about me. Just leave me alone. You know what I mean? And we are just we just want freedom and justice for everybody. If somebody did something wrong and they have to serve time, give them a fair sentence. Don't sit there and base it upon the color of their skin. Like, just give us a fair chance.
Or their criminal background. I mean, you got to look at it. We
Wait a minute,
years and years.
Some of these criminal backgrounds.
Yeah, but I mean, it's systematic.
Sorry,
like
guys,
said,
I'm back.
and so many years of oppression, and we trying to figure out why our
Some of these backgrounds too. No,
but I'm saying you got to look at it. You got post-traumatic stress syndrome, you got mental health issues, you got lead poison, you got fentanyl, you got all types of epidemics that are taking place, and our people need serious help. And the first thing that we say, we looking at it like, and that is no excuse, but we have to get to the root of these issues. And a lot of times that's not what's happening. And then we got our own people sitting up here like, y'all not worried about y'all not worried about so-and-so killing so-and-so. We need to worry about black on black crime, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we know we got these issues, but it's even worse when you got white people actually feeling like it's okay. Like, you got 5 people right now that they got that's supposed to commit suicide. We know damn well ain't no niggas hanging themselves.
So from that tree. And sis, can I back up? And can I back up something you say? I never talk about black on black. I won't even dare say that word, black on black crime, because we know Asians kill Asians. That's not Asian or Asian crime. Caucasian kill Caucasian. They ain't Caucasian or Caucasian crime. So it's another way to play. And kill their whole family. So just like I tell everybody, and it pisses me off because they be like, where are the protesters for the community violence? Just like I say, you throw a protest, I will be out there and support, because guess what? We all in this together. No matter if it's community violence, homelessness, street crimes, all of that. It's all connected to the highway of hell, and that's the system. That's just, I don't care what lane you take. My lane, police brutality. Your lane may be street violence, but it's the highway of hell. Until we get together, it's the highway of hell. I don't care what shit you take. It's the highway of hell. It's to take us out. It's the truth.
Listen, like I said, I just want to see eventually at some point. It may not. I try to have faith that one day it will happen, and because you know my son is 3, and I want him to be able to. I don't want to have a conversation that I know I'm gonna have to have. That listen, this is what you're gonna have to do when you put police, baby, or you know, you may have friends you may love. And they may love you, but their parents may not be okay with your skin color. You know, their friends may not be fine with the way you look. I don't want to have that conversation, you know. So I just hope that at some point this can get better. It'll probably get worse before it gets better. But I stand behind anybody that is protesting against what's happening.
Kudos to all the young folk out there, older folk, everybody holding it down.
Like, I stand behind you, because at the end of the day, you can't tell me about the way that I should be protesting,
Right.
and you have never been in my shoes. Shut the hell up. You know, don't,
That's right.
you know, so,
Protests come in many forms, in many
Amen.
forms. So if
I
we
mean,
can't
I
even
don't,
be on the front line, we doing our part.
right. I don't want y'all to, I don't want y'all to set the liquor stores on fire because we need them. You
Girl,
know,
are we
uh,
gonna do our
the Popeyes.
affirmations?
Yeah, but I just need to make them.
Okay.
I don't want them to set the liquor stores on fires and stuff because we need. So, before we end our show, we always give like a positive like affirmation. It can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to sound beautiful. It's just whatever you want to do with us. That's what we're going to end the show with.
All
So,
right. Well, so I want to give y'all homage. Thank y'all so much. Keep y'all good work up, queens, because you know, as queens, we're the most disrespected and unprotected. So, y'all, I'm only a phone call away. You need me, I'm there. But I
yeah.
just want to end on a positive note. We are more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirt. Our lives matter. Live to love to live, and I love you all. Let's win.
Yes.
Send me that in writing because I'm about to
Put that on a t-shirt.
I
Yes.
love that. I
So
love that. See?
I was gonna do mine because basically, since we were talking about feeling safe, so everything in my life is easily resolved for the higher good of all that is concerning me, and I am safe. Thank you, life. So just remember, every time you're not feeling safe, just remember to thank the Creator and to thank life and to thank everything that you have going on around you, and keep saying, "I am safe. I am secure. I am happy. I am blessed."
And
And I'm
I
done.
really don't. Yeah, I really don't have a song. I don't have like
Oh,
a.
you always have the song. Fight the power. Fight the power.
I don't know that whole song, T.
All right.
I don't know that whole song. But, so I just want to tell everybody to be safe. Just be safe. Like we got it. Like none of us are gonna make it. I do have an affirmation. None of us are gonna make it off of this earth alive. None of us are. None of us are. At the end of the day, live your best life.
Yes.
Honest, be fair, and be kind. Because no matter what you have been taught, nobody knows where you are going to go when you leave here. So live your best life and be the best that you could possibly be. Because you don't know what the afterlife is or what it's like. And if it's anything like being here, I don't want to go to that place. So, and that's it. And I'm Tian.
And I'm Tia Yoka. And we
I'm
out.
Tawanda. All right.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Tawanda.
Thank y'all, ladies, again.
Thank you so much, Boo. All right. Peace.
Thank you. Bye-bye.